Welcome if you're new. Angel Reese, man, she ended up stepping into this presser right here and just going off on this ref. And I have to agree, man, if the ref really said this to her,
I think we fought really hard. It's tough when you talk to officials and I asked them, hey, we only shot 2 free throws. We've only been to the free throw line twice up into the fourth quarter, and she tells me it's not her.
Here we go again. The court is the same. The game is the same. But the reaction, that's where the difference lies. Because Angel Reese is in full meltdown mode, raging over what she calls diabolical officiating after a loss to the Minnesota Lynx. She's furious, she's animated, and she wants the whole world to know that she's tired of being humble. She's tired of being quiet. She's tired of being ignored. But here's the thing. Where was all of this passion, this volume, this outrage?
Watch out, everyone! This is your warning. Uncle KC is giving you plenty of time to prepare because Angel Reese is about to explode!
Game, but Angel Reese did make history again, and we're gonna talk about this real quick because Angel Reese been kind of quiet in her department. You know what I'm saying? There ain't really been a whole lot of noise. At least people really haven't been paying attention to it. That is until today. Yesterday, Angel Reese, said what she said.
When Caitlin Clark was getting hammered night after night by defenders who clearly had no intention of guarding her and every intention of hurting her. Where was the press conference then? Where was the tweet storm? Where was this warrior energy when the league's most marketed, most watched, and most fouled player was getting tossed around like a rag doll? Because while Angel Reese may be upset over one night, Caitlin Clark has been living in this nightmare every game this season, and she's had to do it without the league's protection, without consistent calls, and without the voices of her fellow players speaking up.
It's frustrating because I know how hard we're battling inside, and I think that we came down and fought as hard as we could with what we had, and I just know that we continue to grow in this, and I think this is a leaping step for us, and obviously we know we can compete with the best. But that has to be fixed. And I don't give a damn if I get fined because that's cheap. And I am tired of this because I've been nice and I've been humble with it, but I am.
So now when Angel Reese is suddenly the one on the wrong end of a few missed whistles, we're all supposed to stop and act like the sky is falling. Let's not get it twisted. Angel Reese is upset because in a hard-fought game where the Chicago Sky lost 80-75 to the Minnesota Lynx, her team attempted just 8 free throws compared to Minnesota's 17. And yes, Reese had 16 points on 16 attempts, all in the paint, and got to the line only twice. That's not great. It's frustrating. It's worth a conversation. But the hypocrisy, that's what makes this different. Because while Angel Reese is out here holding court like she's Rosa Parks of the refereeing world, Caitlin Clark has spent the entire season being targeted, physically and psychologically, by players who were clearly trying to make a statement.
Throughout her first 2 years in the WNBA, Angel Reese has been the same way. On paper, the double-double diva looks great, but just like Derek Carr, Angel Reese does not impact
winning.
Since the Bayou Barbie became the Chi-Town Barbie, the Chicago Bravado are 18-39. They have been one of the worst teams in a league that is filled with bad teams. And oftentimes, Angel Reese will blame everyone but herself for her huge embarrassment.
Clark has taken blow after blow, some to the face, some to the legs, some that left her writhing on the floor. And every time she looked to the officials, silence. A blank stare, sometimes a shrug, most times nothing at all. She's missed games from groin pulls, quad strains, bone bruises, injuries that weren't just part of the game, but direct results of reckless, unpunished contact. Where was Angel Reese's concern for player safety then? Where was her voice when the league's biggest draw, the very person who skyrocketed ticket sales, jersey numbers, and TV ratings, was left completely vulnerable? Silent.
It's a problem. It's a problem, man. The ref calls are terrible, all right? And also, I know that they're human. Y'all hear me say that every time. But they have to do something to alleviate how bad the calls are, man. It's not fair most of the time across the board. And we know the players that have the special whistle. Now, we saw it for sure in that Aces game. Oh, my goodness, man. It was ridiculous, man. But anyway, man, I feel Angel Reese's pain on that one. She did have some plays where I was like, she probably could have got a foul in that one. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, it just didn't.
She was silent. And that silence speaks louder than any angry Instagram story ever could. It's not just about fairness. It's about selective outrage. It's about who is allowed to complain and when. Because let's rewind the tape. When Caitlin Clark got shoved to the floor by Dijonai Carrington? When Alyssa Thomas cracked her in the lane? When Nalissa Smith was clearly taking elbows to the ribs trying to set high screens for her?
So Angel Reese comes out and she decides to, in her press conference after the game that they lost the other day, to talk about the officials and how they're not calling the fouls. And she was complaining about how, to the official, how she, is not going to the free throw line. There's not been enough of them going to the free throw line because they're not.
Numbers. Now, her fans is also voicing frustration about the way Angel Reese has actually been treated and handled on the basketball court, bro. They're not liking these type of plays. It's embarrassing by the WNBA. We're not going to tolerate the harassment and the attack. They're basically saying it's an attack on Angel Reese, but they're just really boxing her out, trying to get the rebounds because they know she's going to do everything in her business to try to get the damn rebound.
The cameras saw it. The crowd saw it. Social media exploded. And the league, crickets. And yet, Reese didn't say a word. She didn't post. She didn't call it out an oppressor. She didn't defend her fellow rookie. She didn't stand with the player who elevated the entire WNBA onto the national stage. Why? Because it didn't affect her. But now that she feels slighted, now that her drives to the rim aren't getting whistles, now it's a full-scale media tour. She said, "I don't give a damn if I get fined. I'm tired of this. I've been nice. I've been humble, but I'm done." Humble. Where was that humility when the conversation was about Caitlin Clark being physically targeted by players who were laughing about it later on TikTok?
So she really doesn't give a damn if she gets fined for this. So, which, I mean, I don't have a problem with her saying this. Y'all know that if you watch my channel, you know that I have been critical of Angel Reese and her play. But I actually believe in what she's saying here. At the same time, she also has to understand that people that watch these games also see her foul the shit out of people and don't get caught.
Where was the accountability when the Bash Clark trend became so popular, even sports analysts had to tiptoe around it? Reese didn't just stay quiet, she benefited from it. Her brand grew in the chaos. The rivalry narrative fueled clicks, and she played into it with a smirk and a shrug. And now, because of a couple of missed calls, she wants to burn down the whole system. Let's not forget, Sydney Colson had a far worse moment that same night. She made a clean, beautiful steal, got called for a foul, but instead of crying foul to the internet or demanding a press conference, she challenged the play, got the call reversed, and moved on.
One thing I kept seeing in this game, man, they were doing really well starting out. They came out strong, looking pretty decent, but they have so many moments where they're looking good, and then all of a sudden, they have a long stretch of tough shot, ill-advised shot, bad shot selection. Like, it gets bad. And
that's how professionals handle bad whistles. They don't collapse on camera. They don't turn it into a personal crisis. But Angel Reese? She turns one missed call into a movement. She posts that the WNBA needs to do better. She demands answers. She wants to hold the league accountable. And sure, those conversations should happen. But they should have happened months ago, not just when it happened to you. The Indiana Fever have had to sit through this all year. Clark gets grabbed, pushed, hit. The coach screams. The bench erupts. The refs just stare. And Caitlin, she gets back up. Every single.
It went to the middle of the backboard and went to the left side. She grabbed the rebound, shot it back on the other side. Grabbed the rebound again, shot it back in the middle. She had 5 rebounds in a 30-second span and scored no points.
Nuts.
I don't want to hear nothing. When you go 4 for 16 and you taking point-blank range shots, you're not very good. You're not very good.
Time. Even when she's injured, she's still talking to the refs, still arguing, still leading, still playing through pain because the league refuses to protect its stars. And that's the biggest difference. When Clark faces adversity, she deals with it, argues her case, and keeps playing. She doesn't ask for sympathy, she doesn't orchestrate a media campaign, she just gets back up. When Angel Reese faces adversity, she grabs a mic, she rants, she slams the league on social media, and then the spin begins. Coach Tyler Marsh even said the Sky are one of the most aggressive teams going to the rim, but get the least calls. That might be true, but where was this energy when Clark, who draws more contact than any player in the league, was getting nothing? Where was the press conference then? Where was the Instagram post? Where was the do better tweet?
Like the other day, I watched Sophie Cunningham go for a scramble on the ground and basically get almost in a rear naked choke, and no foul was called. I mean, so the officiating in the WNBA is trash. We all know it's trash, and if they want us as fans to take this league seriously, they have got to do something about the fouls. I mean, I have literally seen jump shots where nobody even touches the person and they get called for a foul. But I've also seen people go drive in a lane and get their head taken off.
Let's call it what it is. Angel Reese isn't mad about officiating. She's mad that officiating didn't favor her for once. That's not activism, that's self-interest. And let's talk basketball for a second. The Chicago Sky aren't 5-12 because of referees. They're 5-12 because they aren't winning games. Reese's shooting is down, turnovers are up, her impact on the game is limited, but rather than adjust her game, she's blaming the refs. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is dragging a young team to wins they shouldn't have. She's rewriting the assist records, she's lifting her teammates, she's facing more pressure, more hate, more physical abuse, and still outperforming.
There was a play where everybody remembers when Kennedy Carter just shoved Caitlin Clark and she didn't even have the ball. There were flagrant fouls, hard fouls on Caitlin Clark, and everybody told her to get up, gain some weight, get some muscle, stop whining, stop crying, you in the big leagues now. Caitlin Clark's reaction to all of it was very professional. She got back up and she played. She got back up and she freaking played the game of basketball.
And she's doing it without the drama. The contrast is clear. When Clark gets fouled hard, she gets up, she recovers, she dominates. When Reese gets one bad call, she crumbles, she lashes out, she demands attention. Sophie Cunningham got grabbed around the neck recently. No call, no meltdown, just a tough moment, a sarcastic smile, and then back to work. That's how you lead. Angel Reese had a chance to lead this season. She could have been a voice for better officiating, for safety, for all players, but she stayed silent until it was her in the spotlight. That's not leadership, that's opportunism. And when the league looks back on this moment, they won't remember the missed free throws. They'll remember who stood up when everyone needed it and who waited until it was convenient. The WNBA deserves better officiating. Every player deserves protection. Every star deserves fairness. But if your voice only gets loud when it's you who's hurting, then you're not fighting for justice. You're fighting for yourself. And that says everything.